Hi everyone, welcome back to the second season of WAT Interview. We're here in a new office and a whole new vibe. And today we have a beloved teacher for you. To find out who that is, let's look at the clip together. She moved to Pakistan at 18 months, moved to the Philippines at the age of 11, and to Russia after graduating high school. Jennifer Lee McGee has been both a student and a teacher her whole life, from learning from different cultures and teaching her own to foreign students. She's always excelled in communication and has always been a person that will be helpful and kind to her peers. Ms. Jen moved to Albania in 2019, where she started teaching English at WAT. She's loved by the staff and, most importantly, by the students whom she now teaches drama to. Ms. Jen also has a passion for writing, singing, acting, and photography. Today with us, Jennifer Lee McGee.
Like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you. Welcome to the WAT Theater.
So we have another clip.
Okay.
But this one's from your best friend, not from us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, it's Mr. Tim. Greetings from the USA. I am missing all of you a lot. However, I'm not here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about my wonderful friend, Miss Jen. When I think of Miss Jen, I have these words in mind. Incredible, creative, passionate, positive. I could go on with so many more words, but I don't have much time. The WAT community is so lucky to have her. When I heard that Miss Jen was taking over for the drama teacher after I left, I knew how lucky all of these kids were going to be to have her talent. I miss you, my friend. I miss you as my singing partner. And as the song goes, I have been changed for good. Miss Jen, thanks for being you and being so wonderful. Love you.
Aww.
Bye.
That's very sweet.
He
That
misses
really
you, you
surprised
miss him.
me. Yes, I miss him too.
Hello, Miss Jen.
Hello.
Thank you for coming here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
Of course. So we saw the clip, and when I was writing the clip, I was like, wow, Miss Jen has traveled a lot.
Yes.
How has it been traveling so much and having to adapt to so many cultures and talking to so many people?
You know, it's wonderful and difficult all at the same time. I think my very first memories are of living in Pakistan. And so one of my biggest first memories is learning to say no in Urdu, because I was just like a year and a half. And of course, every year and a half-year-old is trying to learn to walk and everything like that. And everybody thought that there was this cute little baby, and so they wanted to pinch my cheeks and pick me up, and I did not like that. And so
you learned how to say no?
I remember putting together the idea that if I shouted "night" at the top of my lungs, they would leave me alone. And it was just like this breakthrough of joy. Language and communication is key. And I think that was like the beginning for me in caring about communicating. Whether it was perfect communication, I don't know, but communicating with people and around the world. Like, I learned also as I grew older, because I lived in lots of countries and I speak the languages, but also I learned that it doesn't really matter if you can speak the language or not, because the key is connecting with people.
Right.
The key is actually just trying to be friends. Like, if you smile, if you actually reach out, if you help somebody, whether you understand their language or not, you're friends. Like, that's like, I don't know, the essence of what I have learned from traveling around the world. And also I've learned about a lot of cool foods and places, beautiful places, interesting people and cultural, things that have helped to make me kind of who I am. So.
Right, right. Because you've traveled to so many countries, I have a two-part question for you.
Sure.
What's one country, if you had the chance, you would live in for the rest of your life? And one that you haven't visited, but would like to visit and maybe even live there?
Oh my goodness, those are really hard questions.
It's my job.
I know. You know, I've been asked that first question many, many times before, and I just don't know if I could give you an answer.
That's fine.
All of my countries are special to me. Mm-hmm. A country that I have never been to, that I would like to go to, Norway. I have never been to Norway, and I have Norwegian heritage in my family, so I would love to go to Norway.
Right.
I have friends there too. So.
You have friends all around the world.
Yes.
Okay, so because you've traveled so much and now you're in Albania, are your parents here or are they living somewhere else?
No, they live in America, but they're coming to visit, so I'm
that's
very excited
nice.
about that.
Has it been hard for them, you transitioning into a whole different country? Because Albania it's not Russia, it's not some mainstream place, you can say. Has it been hard for them not seeing you that often as they maybe wish they could?
I think so. Of course, we're really close as a family because we've traveled a lot. And when you get to a country and you don't know the language and you don't know anybody, especially when we moved to Russia because it was just in 1993, we had to be each other's friends. Right. And so we're pretty close like that. Of course, I'm sure that they would wish that I could be home near them. However, they did actually bring me up with this life. I kind of feel like I'm keeping the tradition going by being the one daughter that's like abroad all the time. So, I keep the one foot across the sea. So,
right, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Now, in your last part of the bio that I also mentioned in the clip, you said that you're very passionate about photography and drawing and everything like that. Is there a moment in your life, because now you're a drama teacher at WAT, that you said, drama is not my thing, art is not my thing, I want to do something else? Did you ever have a moment that you were like, you wanted to drift away from what you thought was perfect for you?
Well, I never knew that this was perfect for me. I actually, in university, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, honestly. And I took a couple of different majors, speech communication, religion, later ended up with my master's in education, but I didn't really know I was going to be a teacher. I've always loved the arts and music and things, but I actually never knew I was going to end up getting to be a theater teacher or an arts teacher. So life takes turns that you never expect, I guess. And the great thing is, if you embrace those turns, you can experience a whole new world. You never know what your life will be if you're willing to take those risks and say, okay, sure, let me try this. Or, oh yeah, this has always been my passion. I kind of put it aside, but I want to go that way now. Yeah. So I'm not sure if that exactly answers your question.
No, that's fine.
But in a roundabout way.
Yeah. We also had a speaker in school last week that said that he as well had no idea what he wanted to do in university, and we're hearing this really often. What's one advice you'd give, especially for DP students, Erin? So we're kind of transitioning into university, and we're always kind of vague of what we want to do, and maybe even scared.
I think one of the most important things as you're going into university is to take time to try different experiences or to explore whatever opportunities come your way with an open mind, because there might be something that you discover that you are really good at or that you really love, and it may not be what you thought, but it may be actually the open door that you never knew you wanted. You know what I'm saying? And if you're so focused on whatever goal you think that you're going towards, you might miss out on people, on experiences. And so I think that's my biggest thing, is kind of just keep your mind open to the possibilities and take them when they come your way.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that. As a DP1 student, I appreciate that.
Yes.
So this is kind of one question I get around with almost every teacher. What has the toughest moment in life been for you? Like one moment that you just sat in the corner of your room and were like, I'm going to shut everything else right now. So I'm out of this.
Wow. That's a hard question, but a good one. Some years back in Korea when I was teaching in the university there, I came into a really difficult time physically and I couldn't even hardly walk. I think that was probably my hardest time because we didn't have sick days. So I still had to go to my classes and I couldn't walk. So I was using my rolling suitcase because, I have some good ones from my travels, and a mop. And I was walking to my class and I lived in the same building as the school. So I could get there, but it took me 30 minutes to walk like what would take you 3 minutes to walk. And as I was walking down the hall and not sure if the next step I would fall down because nobody knew what was wrong with me and I didn't know what was wrong with me, I think that was my really most difficult time. But
you got through it.
I got through it. And also my students and my staff friends were so wonderful to me. And it was a lot of pain. And really you sit there thinking, how am I going to do this? But your friends and your students and the people around you, they help you. And then you are eternally grateful. You can never pay them back, but then you just accept the gift that they give you and say, there's nothing I can do but say thank you.
Yeah.
So that was probably the hardest part of my life.
So you value friendship a lot.
Absolutely.
Like we can see that. How has it been in Albania, getting to know everyone, and especially the teachers, the staff, and maybe even the students that some you have befriended?
Oh, I have wonderful friends in Albania. I'm so blessed. I have people that care about me, that check in on me during lockdown. I had just moved to WAT, and I had such wonderful friends check in on me, including Mr. Tim, who hardly knew me, who had met me like twice. But I was really so blessed and am so blessed to have such wonderful colleagues to work with here at WAT. Dynamite, top quality teachers and people that actually care, and students too, who actually care. And I really enjoy getting to know my students and the coworkers. And yes, I have lots of friends in Albania too.
How is it teaching drama? Because I used to be a drama student myself, and I completely enjoyed Mr. Tim, but I saw that sometimes it got frustrating for him. Sometimes there are some things that you either have or you don't have as an actor or actress. Is it hard sometimes to teach the little kids that you have to put emotion in this, or you have to do this on the stage, or you have to learn this technique or that technique? Does it really get hard sometimes? And what are your techniques as a teacher that you think really work?
So yes, it's hard because, of course, when you think drama and as a student, you're not really sure what that means.
Right.
And you come in, you're not really sure, there's not really an exact textbook and things like that. So creating systems and procedures are really important. And so I've tried really hard to do that at the beginning of every class. So we do journaling at the beginning of every class just to kind of refocus from whatever else has been going on. Because there's a lot that goes on in a day. One of the things I keep trying to share with my wonderful students is that the more you put into this class or into that moment or into those 2 words that you have on the stage, the more you get out of it. And when students actually take that to heart, they are like, whoa, that's really cool, Miss Den. And I really love those moments because they happen, but it takes courage to put yourself out there as a student or as an actor. It takes a lot of courage. And so I think theater is as much about courage as it is about learning the techniques and practicing your lines and things like that. And hopefully by the end of my class or this year, students will have some more courage in how they can face life and also, their classes. And maybe some might even find that they love acting. Hopefully.
Okay, so my last question for you is, then I'll let you go, since you answered wonderfully. You know so many languages. What's your favorite quote or word or really anything that holds a dear place in your heart. Because we asked Miss Mallory and she literally said the word peshkacheni, so that's still a history in WAT.
It's true. It is. So a word in any of the languages, you mean?
Word or quote.
So every language has different, I don't know, nuances that you can't get in a different language. And I'm just trying to think now. In Urdu, for example, the word shabash means really good job. And my family, we use this word. And it's like bravo, but it's very similar to bravo. Right. But it's like shabash, Jen. And so that's a really special word.
So thank you very much. So you've given me actually knowledge for life. So I'm your number one example.
Aw, thanks.
Thank you very much. We were pleased to have you, and you answered the questions wonderfully. If there's anything you want to add, please.
I am thankful for this opportunity. I always love chatting with you. And I am very grateful to be here at WAT. And I look forward to seeing all my students grow and have courage to face life and to look for opportunities that come their way, because you never know when they're going to come.
Right. All right, guys, you heard it here first. Take the opportunities that come to you. It's a personal advice from Miss Jen. We're going to see you on the second episode, and more episodes coming on the second season of WAT Interview right here in this office. Until next time, see you.